everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review Loki Episode 6, the season finale, for all time, always. Now, this is the wrap-up of the third MCU show. So far, the MCU has, up to this point, at least in my opinion, and including this episode, been 3 for 3 in their TV shows. Now, there's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about WandaVision because they were expecting something, because they were expecting Mephisto, and I've already talked about that. The people who were hyped up on the Mephisto train, guess what? You can talk shit all you want, because there's some people who say I'm worried about, because I have a couple commenters who keep saying they're worried about Captain Marvel because of the writer. By the way, the writer, because the WandaVision was written so terribly. WandaVision was written so terribly that it got nominated for 24 Emmys. Not like 1 or 2, 20. It basically got nominated for every single Emmy it could get nominated for. And it ain't like superhero movies get nominated for a lot. It's not like Falcon and Winter Soldier got nominated for a couple, but it's not like superhero movies get nominated for a shit ton. That thing got nominated for 20 fucking 4 Emmys. Just let you know out there, people who I don't know about WandaVision, guess what? You're in a small little camp because you're living in this veil of, well, it wasn't Mephisto, it wasn't this big huge thing that I thought it was gonna be, therefore it's terrible writing, when everyday normal people are like, this is some great stuff. So, and like I said, Falcon and Winter Soldier got a couple nominations. I think now that I've seen the finale, I think WandaVision is still the most unique, because I ain't never seen shit like WandaVision. So, but Loki is such a big swinging thing. So, right now, for me, it's Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon and Winter Soldier interchangeable. I still think The Mandalorian, and ironically, is the best thing on Disney+. But, these shows, it's fucking, It's fucking semantics at this point. I think all these shows, at least those 4 shows, have been great. I think Loki has been great, and I think this finale, I don't know if this is my favorite of the finales. It's a toss-up between, because I rather enjoyed the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. The Loki finale, because it's different. But I'll just get into it. It's going to be full spoilers. I'm going to completely talk about it. By the time you see this video, it'll probably Friday, so it'll be a couple days after Loki has already come out. Maybe I'll post it up on Thursday. But man, this was fun. And this was a different kind of finale. Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision went for a more action-heavy finale, with certain things getting wrapped up, but other things getting wrapped up very quickly, and other things not having that was the complaint that a lot of people had, and which I completely understood. Is that with the Falcon and Winter Soldier and the WandaVision finales, where they were just trying to get to the core stuff they needed to get to, and all the other stuff that they brought up, all the other characters, it was that was kind of put on the back burner to just take care of what needed to be taken care of now. So perhaps, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki, and WandaVision, probably could use one more episode to completely fill out, to completely, squeeze, smooth it over a bit more, to make instead of making it kind of an abrupt finale. Whereas Loki's the exact opposite, where it is smoothed over. A lot of the questions and answers you're looking for get answered, but there's not a ton of action. It's not this high testosterone pumping, dum, here's the crescendo. It's just, you see the character who's behind it, they have a conversation, and the MCU has changed forever. And it has a big impact. While some people would say Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision impact on a wider MCU is kind of minimum, this impact is massive. It's probably not an overstatement to say that Loki is on some Winter Soldier level of an impact, in terms of Winter Soldier completely got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's a massive thing. Loki is technically where the multiverse starts. This is where it happens. The Loki show doesn't happen, then they have to explain why is time and whatnot breaking out. And it's no, well, this is why time and stuff is freaking out. And to me, it feels like Kevin Feige Right, now that I've seen the finale, now that we've seen the multiverse, the spoilers, like I said, Loki, by the time this episode ends, the multiverse is in full swing. And honestly, it feels to me like Loki was made because Kevin Feige, like, he knew he wanted to do multiverse, he knew he wanted to get to it, and he had a lot of options, and he was like, well, fuck it, while I'm getting there, I might as well have fun with this character, Tom Hiddleston and Loki, and the TVA and whatnot, and simultaneously be able to, and slowly kind of break down people, and that's what this show served. The show of Loki served multiple purposes. Also, clearly it's first and foremost to serve Tom Hiddleston and his Loki character, show more layers, show more different aspects of that character, and have fun with these different variants of the Lokis, and just kind of get to the core of what makes Loki Loki. That's the number one. But the number two is to give the audience in the wider MCU a breakdown of how this time travel / multiverse thing is gonna work, and because that's what this show is about, really. And it'll give people that idea of how this is gonna work, so that way, and it'll slowly kind of easing people into the idea of the multiverse and different variants of people. And so Loki's supposed to be that. So Loki is serving dual purposes: to introduce and smooth over the concept in the wider audience's mind of multiverse and variants of people in the TVA and Kang. But anyways, the episode starts off, and they're at it starts off actually, which was this cool starting point with these voices, and it was crazy. It was like some I'm trying to think, I've seen something like this before. It was like some Space Odyssey shit, where you can hear all these voices and whatnot, but you realize quickly, because all you're doing is hearing all these voices from previous Avengers films and quotes from Nelson Mandela and fucking all these different people, and you realize though that it's like the camera pans and you're in the time stream. Turns out the time stream really is a circular, stream. It looks kind of like this blue thing circling around this one house that Loki and Sylvie are this one castle that Loki and Sylvie are standing in front of. So Loki and Sylvie go in, gets this amazing jump scare from Miss Minutes, who turns out, yes, as a lot of people would have thought, Miss Minutes knew more than she was leading on. Just the whole fact of the matter that she could, she's alive and not alive. Someone would have to, with advanced technology, would have to have created her. And it makes sense that Miss Minutes did know more than when she was leading on. She was actually, she knew more than everybody else at the TVA. So Miss Minute makes them an offer, makes Loki and Sylvie an offer to give them their dreams, and of course they turn it down. But then we lead up to a point of the story, this is basically, we all thought, it's one of those things where people didn't think they were gonna do Kang, because they were let down, because of WandaVision, because for some reason, people just kept on saying fucking Mephisto, even though nobody brought Mephisto up. No one said Mephisto. There was no obvious sign that Mephisto was going to be in this. We're like, oh, Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness is in multiple Scarlet Witch stories that have absolutely nothing to do. Agatha Harkness is in the Vision comic. Was Mephisto in the Vision comic? No. People, they wanted it, and they just kept talking about it and speculating about it so long that, when it didn't happen, they were like, what the fuck? So smart people started to brace themselves, and so they're not going to do Mephisto. They've kind of already pretty much, at least in their mind, said that these shows are just going to be, they're not really, going to be that big of a deal. And then Jonathan Majors, a.k.a., sorta Kang, shows up. And he's got the purple and green, but he's not wearing the full outfit. He's kind of wearing a robe kind of outfit, which is like one of Kang's other Kangs. There's a shit ton of Kangs. There's different Kangs all over the place. One of Kang's, more notable personas, so to say, or versions of himself is Immortus. And Immortus is pretty much the oldest version of Kang. He's a Kang who, ironically, went to work for the TV, who, in the comics, worked for the TVA to maintain the timeline. So, this version of Jonathan Majors' version of sorta Kang, they call him He Who Remains, which He Who Remains is a totally different character. honestly, I thought, okay, that's what they're doing. It got me. Miss Minutes got me because she was just like, they were like, who's like Loki and said, who's running things? She's He Who Remains. I was like, okay, that makes sense. In the comics, He Who Remains is the guy who created the Timekeepers. He is the guy who created the TVA. So it does make logical sense. He would be the guy here. But they did the thing that Marvel does a lot, which is that kind of combined things. Like actual comic book lore along with actual, you know, other stuff, like with like mixing it up a bit. Because this Kang is clearly a more Immortus version of Kang, because Immortus is the oldest version of Kang. He's a little bit more docile. He's a little bit less evil. He's more he's seen it all. He's been through it all. He's not as selfish. He's more, you know, of a calmer. Like, he's a bit, you know, wacky, but he's a little more calmer and whatnot. He's not like Kang the Conqueror. He's not that guy. Immortus is older Kang. Basically Kang who's reflection, with time and experience to reflect on, I don't know if I want to do all that shit. And this version of him, Jonathan Majors, is like that. And Jonathan Majors, by the way, does such a fantastic job playing this version of Kang. Oh, we'll just call him He Who Remains. And like I said, He Who Remains is a totally different character, but they combine it together because it does make sense. In the comics, Kang has many different names. What's just saying that Kang is He Who Remains? And Jonathan Majors, like I said, he does such a good job. All the things I've seen Jonathan Majors in, I've only seen him in a couple things. He's generally the same. Like, he's not that he's not doing a bad job. He's playing different characters, but his temperament, the way he handles himself, is generally the same. Kind of like Denzel nowadays, how Denzel's temperament and whatnot, like even though he's playing different characters, he's kind of the same Denzel, but his just temperament and the way he goes about it is a bit differently, but it's Denzel. This version of him was having so much fun. I love seeing actors do this. It reminded me so much of so many, like the character he was playing, like you could tell, and like I saw some people like maybe he was hamming it up a little bit, but the vibe I got off of him, and I don't know if you guys got this, comment below if you did, is that this version of Kang has, first of all, they explain why. First of all, he sits Loki and Sylvie down and explains to them why he's, you know, ruling the TVA and everything. And he tells them, I created TVA to protect, basically, existence, period, from me. Because it turns out, I guess, in the future, I don't know. In the 31st century, a version of him is a scientist, and he discovers the multiverse. He discovers that there are other universes, and he discovers how to go to them. And at the same exact time he discovers that, a shit ton of other versions of himself from other dimensions discover that at the same time. And they start interacting with one another. And they start creating technology. All the technology the TVA has, the TVA itself, the doors, and all that shit, was this scientist working together with other versions of himself to create all this shit. Which, by the way, is nuts, because that's like, damn, you're such a genius that working together with other versions of you help create the fucking, help you basically become a godlike being. But I digress. But unfortunately, it took a sour turn as some versions of himself, as he says, aren't quite as pure-hearted and decided, fuck all this peace stuff, I want to take over all of existence. And a massive multiversal war between Kangs broke out that threatened to destroy all of existence because all of these Kangs want to conquer and all these Kangs. It's like, literally, the idea that this guy, this one dude, is so dangerous, so smart, so powerful, so driven to, like, conquer, that his mere existence risks, in all the multiverse, risks destroying everything because he will go to war with themselves. It's like, there ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Look, I will go to war with me. The only person this guy fears is himself. And like, so like, he tells him this story. Of course, Sylvie's not believing it. She's chomping at the bit to kill him because that's her whole thing. Loki is more taking this in and just like, huh, okay. So, and it's kind of funny because as it turns out, the little cartoon at the beginning of the show was a lie, but it wasn't that much of a lie. Honestly, like a lot of the reasons, so it turns out what he's doing is for a good reason. Like, I know some people like are like, you know, free will and blah, but at the same time, This guy won the war, and how he won the war was by taking the Alioth, that creature, weaponizing it, because the Alioth can eat space and time. It's space and time itself. Weaponizing it and basically wiping the floor, wiping all the other Kangs and their realities and whatnot out, just wiping them out, till it was just his fucking timeline. And then he made it his mission. And then he created the TVA, created all the timekeeper, not created, he created TVA, did all this shit to make sure that no branch realities can happen, because if a branch reality happens, that means that another Kang would happen. Essentially, he's not stopping people. He didn't take Sylvie because of something Sylvie did. He's not pruning, he's not taking people and stuff because of something they individually are doing. It's that if he doesn't stop them, and the timeline branches off, then another version of him will be created, and then the war will happen again. And basically, we'll be screwed. We'll be right back to where we started. If I don't do this, if I don't cull people, if I don't make sure things don't get out of control, another universal war will happen. Of course, Sylvie's not believing him, but Loki's like, I think he's telling the truth. Eventually, Sylvie stabs him, kills him, and he's telling him, he's just like, all right, man, well, you're going to have to deal with worse versions of me. We're going to have to deal with millions of versions of me. And you just made things twice as bad because it was just me. You know, I'm a bad person, but you've all done bad things. We're all villains here. We've all done bad things. I love the way he plays it, because he plays it like a dude. Like, Jonathan Majors plays this version of this character like a guy who's just been here too long. He's been alive too long. He's seen too much. He's been cramped up in this one area by himself. He is just giddy to talk to anyone. And that's the vibe I got off of him. It's a bit of Mad Hatter. That's what I thought. Jonathan Majors played it like the Mad Hatter, which is going to be, Jonathan Majors has got to be hyped, because he's going to get to play different versions of this character. He's going to get to play, like, this version, which was a fun version. He's going to get to play the Conqueror version. Like, he might be in multiple movies as different Kangs. I can't wait to see what he comes back and does. But long story short, by the end of the episode, fucking Loki goes back. Sylvie kisses Loki, pushes him through a portal. Turns out he got pushed into an alternate reality because things started to because the branching timeline started to branch, just like, you know, as they were talking. Anyways, she pushed him into an alternate reality, an alternate TVA, but in this TVA, Kang is front and center, the face of it. You know, I want to kind of save some of the Kang stuff for another video. I don't want to make this one too long, but thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. I would give Loki, this last episode, the finale, I'd give it a 9. It's not the best episode of the show, but it was great. I love Jonathan Majors. I love the acting. I love the story. It wrapped up a lot. Set up season 2, which is coming. Loki's going to be the first live-action Marvel series to get a season 2. Falcon and the Winter Soldier might get a season 2 because they didn't call it a limited series, so there's a chance it might. I think they're still trying to work out if they want to make that a movie or a show and see which one serves the best purpose. But either way, I'm happy. I had a good time with this show. Marvel's 3 for 3. So far, you know, I'm just having a good time. I can't wait to see what if Hawkeye looks like it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see a trailer for Hawkeye and Miss Marvel. I'm looking forward to those. I'm looking forward to seeing something on those. I bet She-Hulk's about to wrap, so maybe we'll see something on that too. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's good to be a Marvel fan. You watch this. Just a couple days ago, I saw Black Widow twice because I went to see it. I went to see it Thursday night, then I went to go see it Saturday with Seth. So I saw it twice. I didn't tell Seth this, but I saw it twice. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please do like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.